Hey there everyone, this is Travalgar Vallertine coming with another how to draw video. Today I was going to do like a drawing exercise instead of actually drawing specific vehicles. Today I'm going to be doing how to change angles with different cars. Okay, so just starting off with, I've got this custom car that I drew with the biro. Just a quick rough simple design. Now if you want to change like an angle on a car, I know that I draw a lot of cars here and there, and sometimes you've got, maybe you want to draw one for a logo perhaps, or maybe a scenery or an event or something like that, and maybe this side doesn't really suit it, maybe you want to draw it for another side. What you need to do is to study the car first you draw in, the major components. So for this one, for instance, we've got the modified front hood at there, we've just got the basic grille, lights, fins at the back and stuff. Very simple. What you need to do is, well, start off with break the car down in just basic shapes. So for this one, it's quite straightforward. I always draw basic blocks for cars. So if I just do the basic blocks, and the idea is, well, if you're trying to actually move something somewhere else, it's a lot easier to move it in pieces or into a simpler form. Whether you're moving a couch, it's easy to like flat pack it or anything, or you get it. And but it'd be extraordinarily difficult to do it while it's all set up completely. So from the basic shapes there, which is just a block, another block on top, you can learn from how to actually change the block's view and then change the block into the actual car. I mean, from this block here, I can draw that car there quite easily back to the way I want it, just by doing a few modifications. Got the wheels there, fins at the back, grills coming across, then we've got the hood on top. It's just rough, just doing it quickly. We've got the wheel arches and stuff. Okay, so you can get the idea that we draw the cars from the actual blocks. Now, if we just change the block, go back to that process of changing the car back to the block and then moving the block to a different location, and then going back to the process of actual changing the angles and stuff. Okay, so what I've got here is just a vanishing point. This is the basic block that I did from before, but I've used the vanishing point just to draw another block. So from here, let's draw it coming up, and I want to do all the horizontal lines following that vanishing point, sorry. So and keep the lines going across the same, just because it's unless the car's actually warped on either side from being attacked or something, cars be equal all sides. So I'm just following that vanishing point going down and across, and it's got another block on top there. Now that I've got the block drawn again, I can go back to that process of just drawing the car, the wheels, the bumper, grille, and then the hood piece there, and then the fins. Okay, and then you can basically just go from there. So for another angle, let's go here, do another block shape. I'm just using a biro for this, just a quick drawing, because I'm just telling you how I would actually do it, because there's been lots of instances where I've had to change cars, and I'll do another one with more complicated cars. I'm just doing a block kind of car just to make it easier, just to show you the process that I'll go through. Then I'll probably go through with another video on more complicated and modern cars and stuff. Now you can see from that block I've done another version there. Let's do one coming here. So keeping all those lines the same with the vanishing point, even the wheels. So from there you can see that the wheels are the same. Use the vanishing point again. This is good practice as well for drawing shapes as well, if you want, because I know when I first started off in things, the first thing I did before was just to understand how to draw 3D shapes. And I know I was, 6 years old or something, 8 years old when I was first drawing 3D shapes. And once you have the component of the shapes, you can break any car down into those shapes that you've practiced with, and then modify the shapes, and then build the car back up from the shapes. So there, done another angle. So let's do one from this side. So just once again, using the vanishing point to draw a block. This is just for the equal proportions. This one's a bit smaller. Then for the wheels again. I'm just drawing these rough, but if I was really drawing them, I could do this all in pencil as a rough guideline. Okay, there's another angle. Let's do a little bit another one. Let's be a bit quite different from here. Okay, so it's just another block on top of another block. So boop, boop, boop. Then for the wheels again. This one's a little different because that's a bit fat. This one's a little different because I'm drawing the underneath of the car instead of the actual top. And if you understand how the basic functions of the underneath the car works, you can modify the drawing of the car just basically to suit that. So I'm drawing underneath here, and I mean the engine would go there, got the gearbox, drive shaft, prop shaft, suspension would go there, the bits of the chassis. I mean, you can even have an exhaust going up, like so. Let's do another one. What kind of angle could we do this time? Let's do a similar to one that I've just done, but the opposite side. So using that vanishing point again. A little block on there. Like so. Just going nice and rough, I'm just showing you how to do it. Then the engine on top. Okay, so you can see this one's from above, underneath, side angles. Let's do another one here. And the block on top. Like so. Oops, sorry, I missed that one a little bit. The camera, sorry, I'm moving the paper around a lot. Okay, let's do another different angle. I mean, you could even do a side angle from here. So just following that vanishing point again. And there's a block on top. Then we've got the wheels underneath. So if you just break it all down, it's so much more easier. Wheel there, guard at the front. This will be the hood there, arches. Front's a bit curved. Like so. I mean, you can even do one from here. This one's room's run out of my paper, so they're getting smaller and smaller, sorry. Zoom in a bit. Okay. And then the block on top. You can see that's where the bumper will go. Grill, the engine, the fins. Okay. Let's do another one. So you can see the pattern that I'm getting at, and this is just the basics. I'll get into more complicated things, because obviously there's more complicated vehicles than just two blocks. But you get the whole idea. Break it down into shapes, then modify the shapes, build it back up again. Easy. I mean, you could draw the object as a complete, but it just gets a bit more complicated. I mean, if I wanted to draw it from here without the blocks, without using the ruler or anything. It's just, it gets a bit difficult to really get the proportions right. As you can see, this one's getting a bit curved. Okay. Is there any other angles? Let's see if we can fit a skinny one at the bottom here. Okay, so I have this block going sideways. Again, I mean, if you were doing this a bit more neatly than me, just remember to keep things equal. I mean, if you had specific dimensions for this vehicle and specific dimensions for this by using a ruler, so it's be 3 by 3 and then by 5, you can then modify these by the same size, so you can make sure that this is 3, this is 5 and stuff. And this one I was doing is on the side here. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the basics of it. I mean, what I'll probably do next, that's pretty much it for the basics of it, and what I'll do next is probably a more complicated design, but you get the idea. If you want to change the angle from the car, break it down into blocks first and then modify the blocks to the way that you want it, then build the car back up. Okay, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that and I hope it becomes handy. I know how difficult it is. I mean, you see these people draw all these cars and that's really cool, but what about this angle, what about this angle? It's all about practice, understanding where things go in the car, the lights, the engines on the top, wheels, exhaust on the side, perhaps bumpers and stuff like that. Practice, practice, practice. Be fine. Okay? I'll be back with another video quite soon.